Hello friends, welcome to my second lecture on batch reduction. In my first lecture, I have already covered the reduction of alkyne and conjugated alkenes. Link is given in the description box so you can watch it. Now, this lecture is all about the partial reduction of benzene where you can find a competition between 1,4 addition product and 1,2 addition product. So, in order to explain it, first of all, I have done some quantum mechanical calculations using HMO theory to provide you a more logical explanation and to fill each and every part of the reaction course. Now the second thing I have added is ESR study as an evidence to support a particular reaction pathway. And the last one is Heinz principle, and this is going to be exciting to you, so please watch the video till the end so you can reach everything and feel it. So now I will be talking about the batch reduction of benzene. So if we start from an alkyne to conjugated diene to benzene molecule, one important thing that you can note down, conjugation is increasing, right? So as conjugation is increasing, that is probably lowering down the energy of pi star LUMO. So any molecule having a low lying pi star LUMO that can accept electron for reduction more easily, right? So now benzene molecule under the condition of lithium, liquid ammonia and ethanol will provide this 1,4 addition product, and this 1,4 addition product will not further undergo batch reduction. Why? Because if you look at the molecule, there is no conjugation, and these two double bonds are like isolated double bonds, right? So you know that isolated double bonds do not respond to batch reduction. So this molecule as a whole will not undergo batch reduction further, right? Now coming to the mechanism, in the step 1 we have benzene molecule and the solvated electron. Now this solvated electron goes into benzene's lowest antibonding orbital to obtain a radical anion like this. And this radical anion is comparatively unstable because there is an electrostatic repulsion between the unpaired electron and the negative charge which are imposed on the adjacent carbon atoms, right? So in order to minimize this kind of electrostatic repulsion, this negative charge will undergo resonance and will come on the top of this carbon and will form this radical anion. And this radical anion is comparatively stable because the unpaired electron and the negative charge are not in closer proximity, right? Now in the second step, this radical anion, which can act as a strong base, can abstract a proton from ethanol to give this radical. So now in the third step we have this particular radical, and this radical will accept and further electron to be converted into this anion. And if you consider this anion, this negative charge can do resonance with this pi bond to generate this particular resonating structure, or it can do resonance in this way to generate this resonating structure. So basically we have three resonating structures. Now if we consider protonation of this particular anion, then two different types of carbon are available for protonation. So if you consider this carbon and this carbon, they are basically equivalent. So they are of one type, and this carbon is completely different, so it is of another type. So basically we have two different types of carbon for protonation. So we may expect that two types of product to be formed in the reaction medium. So now we have three canonical structures of cyclohexadienyl anion, and now if this canonical form undergoes protonation via path A, it will provide 1,4 cyclohexadiene as a product, and if these two canonical forms, which are basically equivalent for protonation, so if they protonate via path B, they will provide 1,3 cyclohexadiene as a product. Now if you consider 1,3-cyclohexadiene, so there is conjugation. So conjugation is making it more stable, so it is thermodynamically controlled product. And if you consider the product formation in statistical ground, then 67% product is expected to form. So if you consider 3 canonical structure as 100% in population, then these 2 canonical forms will have 67% population, and the remaining one will have 33% population. So we can expect 67% product, that is 1,3-cyclohexadiene. Now if we consider 1,4-cyclohexadiene, so there is no conjugation, so it is considered to be less stable and it is kinetically controlled product. And in statistical ground, 33% product is expected to form. So 1,4-cyclohexadiene, we can expect it as a minor product, and 1,3-cyclohexadiene, we can expect it as a major product. But in reality, that is in experimental condition, 1,4 addition product is the only observed product. Now why does 1,4 addition proceed in preference to 1,2 addition? So this is really an important question. So in order to explain it, I will first apply Huckel molecular orbital theory and do some quantum mechanical calculations, and second one is ESR measurement, and the third one is Heinz principle, that is principle of least motion. And I think this principle is going to give you a more logical explanation in favor of 1,4 addition product. So let us start with HMO theory. So if you look at the cyclohexadienyl anion, there are 3 carbons, carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5. So basically they are available for protonation. Now my prime motive to include HMO theory is to calculate pi electron density on carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5. So then the carbon bearing the maximum pi electron density will be protonated preferentially, right? So now if we omit this tetrahedral carbon atom, then it will simply look like a pentadienyl anion. So now I can apply Huckel molecular orbital theory and do some calculations. So let's see. So now we have pentadienyl anion. So you can consider it as an image or simplified version of cyclohexadienyl anion. So it has 5 molecular orbitals, and on the left hand side I have given 3 molecular orbitals with having the appropriate orbital coefficient at each carbon atom, and psi1, psi2, psi3, each of them contains 2 electrons. And these are the expression of 3 molecular orbitals, where psi1, psi2 and psi3 are normalized wave function, and these wave functions are orthogonal to each other. Now we can do 2 things to consider the protonation effect. Number 1, we can consider the highest occupied molecular orbital for protonation, and the second thing we can do to calculate the total pi electron densities at carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and compare among themselves to know that which carbon is bearing the maximum pi electron density for protonation. So now coming to the first point, that is highest occupied molecular orbital. Now if you can look at the HOMO, the orbital coefficients at carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5 are large and equal in magnitude, that is 0.576. Now if you square the coefficient, it will give you amplitude. Here amplitude means pi electron density. So pi electron densities at carbon 1, 3, 5 are equal. So if carbon 3 undergoes protonation, it will give 1 for addition product, and if carbon 1 or carbon 5 undergoes protonation, it will generate 1, 2 addition product. So if we consider highest occupied molecular orbital for protonation, then 1, 4 addition product and 1, 2 addition product are likely to be formed in equal amount. So by considering only HOMO, we can't conclude that which particular addition is going to be more preferred, right? Now let us calculate the total pi electron population at each carbon of pentadienyl anion. So the total electron density at an atom QR is the sum of electron densities contributed by each electron in each MO, is given by this expression, where CJR is the coefficient of atom R in the jth MO, which is occupied by Nj electrons, right? So for pentadienyl anion, we have 5 molecular orbitals, Psi1, Psi2, Psi3, Psi4 and Psi5. Now each of Psi1, Psi2 and Psi3 contains 2 electrons. So Nj equal to 2 for each orbital, and for Psi4 and Psi5 Nj equals to 0, as each of the orbital has no electrons. So if you put Nj equals to 0 in the above expression, so QR is coming out to be 0. So Psi4 and Psi5 will not contribute, right? So we will only consider Psi1, Psi2 and Psi3. So let us first calculate the total pi electron density on carbon 1. So total pi electron density on carbon 1, that means we have to calculate the individual pi electron density on carbon 1 for each orbital. Then we have to add all those values, that will probably give the total pi electron density on carbon 1. So let us express the coefficient on carbon 1 first. So for Psi1, the coefficient is given by C11. The value of it is 0.288, and for Psi2, the coefficient on carbon 1 is given by Psi21. The value is 0.5, and for Psi3, the coefficient on carbon 1 is given by C31. The value is 0.576. Now if we simply square the coefficient, it will give pi electron density. Now each of the orbital contains 2 electrons, so we have to multiply 2 to each square of the coefficient. Now if we add these separate terms and put the value of the coefficients, then it will provide the value 1.32. And similarly we can calculate P2, P3, P4, P5 and generate these values. So if you notice that the pi electron densities at carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5 are very high compared to carbon 2 and carbon 4. So here is a plot. You can see that pi electron population at carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5. So it is supporting that the protonation at carbon 1, carbon 3 and carbon 5 are equally favorable. So either we consider highest occupied molecular orbital, or we consider the total pi electron densities at each carbon atom, then protonation is equally favorable for carbon 1, carbon 5 and carbon 3. So what is wrong with our calculation? The calculation we did by considering the fact that cyclohexadienol anion is acting as pentadienyl anion, right? So that is where we have done the mistake. The simple Huckel calculation which gives these values neglects the fact that carbon 3 is attached to two trigonal carbon atoms. So here is carbon 3, so it is attached with carbon 4 which is a sp2 carbon atom and carbon 2 which is also a sp2 carbon atom. Whereas carbon 1 or carbon 5 is attached with a sp3 carbon and a sp2 carbon, that is carbon 4, right? And there is another fact that we missed out, that is there are two hyperconjugative alpha hydrogens, that is HA and HB. So if these hyperconjugative alpha hydrogens can undergo hyperconjugation with the pi system, then the pi electron density at each carbon will be different. So the total pi electron population and the HOMO coefficients have been calculated, allowing for the overlap of the CH bonds at carbon 6 with the pi system through hyperconjugation. So here are the real pictures considering the hyperconjugation effect, and here figure 2 represents the calculated total pi electron populations. So you can see that the pi electron density at carbon 3 is more than carbon 1 or carbon 5. So as the pi electron density at carbon 3 is more, so carbon 3 is more likely to undergo protonation to provide 1,4 addition product. Now coming back to figure 3, it represents calculated values for C square for the HOMO. So here also you can see that the pi electron density at carbon 3 for the HOMO is more than carbon 5 or carbon 1. So this is also supporting 1,4 addition product. Now coming to ESR measurement, we have this figure, and this represents spin densities obtained from ESR and converted to C square values using the McConnell equation. So you can see that the spin density at carbon 3 is more than carbon 1 or carbon 5. And the presence of a larger coefficient on carbon 3 is supported by ESR measurements on the radical corresponding to this anion, which show a larger coupling to the hydrogen on carbon 3. So this is the hydrogen attached to carbon 3 than those on carbon 1 and carbon 5. So the coupling of this hydrogen at carbon 3 is more with the radical than those hydrogens present at carbon 1 and carbon 5. So now both HMO theory and ESR measurement are supporting the formation of 1,4 addition product. Now the last one, Heinz principle, and it is also known as principle of least motion, and this principle says those elementary reaction will be favored that involve the least change in atomic position and electronic configuration. Say for an example, if you have a chemical reaction that can theoretically produce two products like P1 and P2, now the particular product is more likely to be formed which require the least change in nuclear structure or nuclear position. So let us apply this principle in the reduction of benzene. So according to this principle, the last step determines the nature of the product in case of batch reduction of benzene. So now we have three canonical structures, and if we draw the average picture out of this, then it will simply look like this, where these values are average bond order values. So let us calculate one value. For example, 1.67. Now 1.67 is the average bond order of carbon 1 and carbon 2. So it is carbon 1 and this is carbon 2. So now for this canonical structure, the bond order between carbon 1 and carbon 2 is 2. And for this canonical structure, it is also 2. And the last one, it is 1. Now we have to divide it by 3, and 3 is the number of canonical structures that we have. So it will give 1.67, right? And the other values, that is 1.33, 1.67, 1, that's are also calculated in the same way. Now this is the average picture. This is 1,4 addition product and this is 1,2 addition product. The values like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 are bond order values. Now we will calculate the change in bond order on going from the average structure to 1,2 addition product and 1,4 addition product one by one. Now coming to the 1,2 addition, the change in bond order in 1,2 addition is given by this. So basically 1 minus 1, this 1 minus this 1, plus 2 minus 1.67, plus 1 minus 1.33, plus 2 minus 1.33, plus 1 minus 1.67, plus 1 minus 1. And the value is coming out to be 2, right? Now, in case of 1,4 addition, the change in bond order is given by this. So 1 minus 1 plus 2 minus 1.67 plus 1 minus 1.33 plus 1 minus 1.33 plus 2 minus 1.67 plus 1 minus 1, right? And the value is coming out to be 1.32. Now greater change is required in 1,2 addition than that of 1,4 addition. So it is basically indicating more deformation is needed in case of 1,2 addition. So that is basically favoring 1,4 addition, right? So this principle of least motion favors 1,4 addition product as an exclusive product. So hope you have enjoyed the video, and please follow our channel The Education Seeker for the next part of it, and thank you very much for watching my video.